What's up, guys? MainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and welcome back to another history lesson in Tekken Revisited. And today we're gonna talk about Lord Fakum Ram from Thailand, who joined us in Season 3. And just looking back at Season 3, like, dear lord, what a joke it was. Do you remember Leroy Smith? I made a video on him not like 2 weeks ago on Launch Leroy, the original vanilla Leroy. Pound for pound, I think my belief is he's probably the most broken Tekken character of all time. Even worse than like Tekken 5 Steve and Tekken 4 Jin, because those guys had like legit competitors. Leroy had Akuma, but that character is about, or was about 100 times harder to play. So there's just no comparison in my opinion. But so we barely recover from that. Like, everyone's tormented, tortured, suffering from PTSD already. And a couple of months later, Fakum Ram drops, and by God, it could be said that it's even worse. You could absolutely argue that. We've barely recovered from Leroy, and here comes Fakum Ram. And he's quite different, completely broken for other reasons, but also a very all-round character. But it went so far as to Pakistan basically saying, oh, we've had enough. He's banned. We don't want to deal with this. And it's remarkable how after Leroy, it's like the developers hadn't learned their lesson. Was there any quality testing? Looking at Leroy's frame data, I was like, how did this pass through testing? And with Fakum Ram, it's just the same. Like, how did this happen? And it should be said that Fakum Ram is arguably still the strongest character in the game. Like, top one. You could definitely argue it. There's a big argument for that. So what made him so incredibly dumb? Like, what makes him still so incredibly dumb? But originally, what made him so unbelievably broken? And it all boils down to what happens when you give a character the best movement in the game, like an amazing backdash, the best sidestep, and you give him twice the effective reach of any other character, right? And you give him 1.5 times the damage output. What happens when you put all of that into one character? Fakum Ram is what happens. And Jesus Christ, that was the intro. We're now going to go over what in detail, like what made him so enormously powerful. And I'm standing right here with Launch Fakum Ram. This is the very first 1.0 Fakum Ram, and I am in Season 4, as you can see. Thanks again to the amazing modding community always helping me out here. But so let's just start with the damage. And the damage is absolutely unbelievable. So here I gotta counter it 3+4. Big roll travel. This is 105 damage from a safe counter at mid. You know, his 3-4. We're gonna talk more about this move later. 105, and this is with nerfed damage, by the way, on the wall combo, and 5 more total health. So this was even more dramatic in Season 3. And he has a Rage Drive. He has 2 of them, but this one in particular, upward 3-4, was a big problem. You can see 50 damage. I think it does 41 now, 40 to 41 now. But it would scale too little on the wall, so it would give him combat potential like no other character. No, look at that damage. And of course, if God forbid you were playing on a floor break stage, that would this would break the floor. That. Note that this was 88 damage. So it's like, yeah, his damage was his damage still is really high, but on launch it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And then the problem was the movement. Original Fakum Ram, note that he still has a very strong backdash, Fakum Ram. But on release, he had the best sidestep in the game, pretty much. Just sidewalking like this, there was actually a bug that when he sidestepped or sidewalked, the hurt boxes, so those are the collision where opponents' hits collide with, you know, hurt boxes, the hurt boxes on his arms would disappear when he sidestepped or sidewalked. This led to him having a rail thin hurt box, very much like Lily, when he sidewalked. And that was a bit weird considering he's about as wide as a truck or a barn door. So yeah, that was a problem. And he also had lovely, lovely bugs and small hurt box legs. He has very thin legs, you know, skip leg day all day long. Where a lot of lows, even if he was standing in neutral, a lot of lows would just famously whiff. And certain attacks, like forward 3, would almost make it so that his legs would disappear. Same with forward 3. Like this or this. You couldn't hit his legs, you couldn't do lows on him. So very, very buggy hurt boxes, to say the least. And then, speaking of reach, standing free, on release, you could argue this was even more busted than Leroy's famous down 1+2, which I consider the best move of all time in Tekken 7. But this move remains super good, but on release, just hard to describe even how busted this is. So note the reach. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, right? And this is 13 frames in speed, so it's the same speed as down for 1, right? Very fast. That reach, mid. This move, today in Season 4, is +2 on hit. Here it was +5. Today it's -9 on block. Here it was -6. And that was a little bit too strong for a mid that hit across a soccer field. Problematic. Doesn't end there with his standing free. His standing free has many very annoying follow-ups, right? You've seen this. But in particular, we want to pay attention to the high follow-ups. Because these you really want to duck. Like here, -3, and then he can put you in a 50-50 position after that. Or he can go for huge frames with 3-4-4, like +6. You really want to duck this, right? This stuff. These high follow-ups. Where this is where he's always had a 3-4. So that's a mid into a mid that's -12 on block. Right now in Season 4, he has to counter hit. Oh my bad. He has to counter hit for this to knock down into huge damage. In Season 4 now, if a 4 connects, it's just like that. Nothing explosive happens. But originally, if you duck this, it didn't even have to counter hit. So this was you just trying to, duck in case he does the high, because those are disgusting, right? So you just duck, you don't even press a button, and you get knocked down into 50 damage. So standing free, for many reasons, was an enormous problem. Enormous problem. And then let's just take a look at other moves. Down for 1. Well, it's in my top 10 moves in the game. Note for reach. Note for reach. This down for 1 is ridiculous. You have that reach, mid, 13 frame startup. It has like 5 different variations. You can do down for 1 on its own, down for 1, whatever. Down for 1, 2. Down for 1, 4. Down for 1, 2, 1. Down for 1, 4, 1. Down for 1, hell sweep. You can't option select this. You can just take a guess. Ridiculous. But yeah, as you can see here, -3 on block. It is now -5 on block, and it's still absolutely godlike. But on release, this was -3 on block. Not a good idea. Bad design. 3+4, you know, Brian, very famous for his 3+4. And here you have pretty much the same move with unbelievable reach, right? Completely safe at -9. Brian's is -13. And note the pushback. Knocks down a normal hit. For some reason, does 27 damage without the counter hit. And with counter hit, 32. And again, I'm going to show you a staple combo. 83 damage without the wall. With a wall, 105. Super dumb move. Super dumb. And then we have the perfect low in down forward 3. And Jesus Christ, this move, this low, nerfed across the board. 19 damage with counter hit 22. So it's very juicy. Insane reach. Insane. And only minus 12 on block. This move today is minus 13 on block, giving pretty much every character in the game a juicier punish. It does way less damage. I think it does like 15 now. And it had its reach reduced as well. That's a lot of nerfs. But yeah, this move was godlike. And then back 3. This is a move that's very reminiscent of Paul's back sway 4. Incredible attack. Let's just describe this move today. Everything about this move is the same today except for one property I'm gonna get into. It's still incredible. It's like, it's super fast on startup, no execution, you just press back 3, only minus 7 on block. Super long reach high, super long reach, and fully homing. So this means that when you're pressuring at the wall, with your fucking ram bullshit that everyone wants to step, you can just do and they can't sidewalk. It's like infinite reach, homing. And in Season 4 on counter hit, no special property. Originally, just like Paul's, this was a counter hit launcher for absurd damage. And of course, with wall. Yeah, 100 damage. So yeah, original back 3 was an absolute joke. It does not counter hit launch anymore. And of course, the amazing 1-4. Fucking Ram has long limbs, right? He's got a long reach jab. His 10 frame punish, 1-4, today gives +3. That's good. Used to do this. The ballerina spinneroonie for +16. +16, and of course, wall splat. So yes, the one character that certainly didn't need a 10 frame wall splat, right? Well, he had it. And of course, just out in the open, 10 frame punish, long reach, +16, can apply all kinds of disgusting mix-ups. Yeah, that was really dumb. I don't know why it ever was there. And then his 1-1. He's got a lot of strings and stuff, you know, from his jab. You might want to duck after blocking a jab. He had 1-1 to deter from that. High mid. And this, the second hit, used to counter knockdown like this. For a guaranteed follow-up. Super strong and very beefy hit. 24 there on counter hit. This has now seen nerf damage, and it does not knock down anymore for a guaranteed follow-up. The second hit. And then of course that down for 2-3, -11 on launch was changed to -12. So everyone gets a huge punish. If you were playing against Asuka with Fakum Ram, you could do this all day long, and all she could do was jab. She doesn't have a 10 frame punish. So all she could do was jab. That one jab. That's it. On this super long reach mid launcher. Oh, and his parry. -13. It is today launch punishable on block. -17. Everyone launches that. But this is a launching punch parry. And again, used to be -13. It also did 20. Today it does 15 damage. And I saved one of the worst offenders for last. His command throw. Down forward 1+2. And of course, like many modern Tekken characters, it wall splats. For some reason, everyone has to have that these days. I don't like it at all. So wall splat does the full damage, 40, right? So of course we get a wall combo afterwards. And of course, you know, if you had rage, as I showed you before, and you didn't break this, it was like, oh, game over, pretty much. Yeah, the comeback potential, right? But that's, of course, not the disgusting part. This is already super strong. But the problem with this throw was that for some reason, and only God knows, you know, this throw had a 14-frame break window. Meaning that as soon as this throw connected, your opponent had 14 frames to press 1+2 to break it. So why is this so weird? Well, it's because there's sort of a standard, a universal standard in Tekken 7 that every throw, when it connects, except for default throws, they have a longer break window. I think they have like 27. But every command throw, every single command throw, when it connects, you always have 20 frames, right? To press the right break. 1, 2, or 1+2. 20 frames. For some reason, Fakum Ram, on release, him and only him, had a 14-frame only break window on his 40 damage wall splatting command throw. This came straight out of left field. No one had any idea what was going on. But so yes, this basically meant that facing Fakum Ram, if you didn't have inhuman throw breaks, this was pretty much guaranteed damage. And he would just absolutely blow you up. And this was a character that already had, for some reason, easy mode Brian guard breaks at the wall. For some reason. Oh, and if you try to sidestep away from the wall, you die. Yeah, so many awesome, like, balancing design decisions where you just go like, what the hell was going on? Who tested this? Who okayed the release of this? So those were the things I wanted to show with Fakum Ram. And yeah, all of that added together led to arguably the most busted character of all time. It's basically pick your poison with him and Leroy. I still think Leroy was dumber, but, you know, it's so close. It's hard to tell. And yeah, Fakum Ram was complete and utter bullshit. And I do want to finish off this video by just saying that he is still godlike. I mean, he still has that reach. Look at, I mean, look at the frames. I mean, these frames speak for themselves. And the guard break is still there. The damage is still very high. The reach, granted, his sidewalk left is now bottom 5 in the game. Terrible. Sidestep right is better, but still bad. But his backdash is still very strong. His punishment is still very strong. His mix-ups from down forward 1 and standing free are still absolute cancer to deal with. The character is still arguably top 1. It's just that he used to be, just like Leroy, a final boss, basically. And what an insult this was to the community. First we had Leroy. How many players did we lose in the Leroy Wars? May God rest their souls, right? And then we got Fakum Ram. Yeah, just Season 3 was a pretty dark cloud over Tekken, to be honest. But so I hope you thought this was interesting, and I hope you enjoyed my commentary on this, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care, everyone.